What's up guys, welcome to Pon's Garage. So today is another video on a how-to subject. Today we're going to be working on my 2016 Toyota Prius, and this doesn't apply only to this car, it applies to essentially any other car with some sort of trim or any sort of plastic trim or anything on it, or it could be even metal. It just happens on those newer generation Priuses. This is one big defect that I heard a lot of people have issues with, where the paint is chipping off, like the clear, not the paint itself, because it's just black plastic essentially clear coated over it, and the clear coat is peeling all over it. And overnight, out of nowhere, there was another big peel right here that happened, and I was like, you know what, why not fix it up, because there's no dents or scratches really on this car, so I didn't want this to like bring down the looks of the car. So I went ahead on eBay, or you can probably just go on Amazon as well, and I purchased this vinyl wrap. This is no like 3M or anything. This is like the cheapest Chinese wrap you can essentially buy. And this one catch my eye because it's black, but it has a spark to it. If you can see in the light how sparkly it is. And so you might not like the spark. I'm not blaming you if you don't. I might get bored of it in like a week or so. But I want to see what it's gonna look like. So I already did the other side just to get the idea of how to exactly do it and what it's gonna look like. And this is what it turns out like. And I haven't seen it in a day like this because it's night right now, because it's so hot in California that this is the only time when you can actually work on your car. But yeah, this is kind of what it turned out like. You can kind of see the spark with the light on it. I think it looks pretty good. As I said, maybe the spark is not for everyone, but for me it looks pretty decent. So as I said, this is on how to remove the plastics and everything from the 4th gen Prius. But if you can remove the plastics on your car, this essentially is the same idea for any other car that has trim that you're gonna be wrapping. And I'm no like wrap professional. As I said, I'm using the cheapest wrap. I watched some YouTube videos on how to do it, and that's essentially it. So let's get to work. The other side turned out pretty decent. Hopefully this one's gonna turn out decent as well. Alright guys, so obviously first step, this one only applies to this car, but in any other car, obviously first step is going to be to remove the plastic trim that you're going to be wrapping, because obviously you can do it on the car, but since this is really easy to remove, I would prefer to do it off the car just to like get it a little bit more nicely. So in this case, if you have a Prius like this, the first step is to just open the trunk just to make it a little bit easier, and then also open the rear door. And I'm gonna move the camera away because I need both hands for it, but essentially you're just gonna use both hands and very slowly peel this plastic off, because it's only held by about nine clips. As you see, they already popped off. There's really no gap in here, so you have to kind of like squeeze your fingers in there. I would prefer use fingers. Don't use like screwdrivers or anything, because you might damage the trim, and that's not what we are looking for. So once you remove the first thing, let's see if I can do it by one hand. We're going to go to the back. Yes, so there's another clip. Just be very careful with it. Don't crack anything, because this trim is like $80 or $90 or something like this, and that's for used one, not new one. All right, so at this step, I'm just gonna set you up on the tripod for a second and let me remove the whole thing. But as you can see, if you're using both hands and you're very gentle, just go all the way around to pop all of those clips. And there's a couple more, so let me set you up really quickly. Okay, so once you pop off all the clips, there is I don't know how well you will be able to see it, but there is a little, yeah, you cannot see it at all. There is a strip of essentially double-sided tape, like a thicker double-sided tape, that all you need to do is like get a razor knife, slide it out all the way, and we are gonna cut out the inside. Once again, I need both hands for it. And just like this, there is this the foam, the double-sided tape foam that you have to slice with a knife. Let me show it to you on the car. This is the other side of it right here, and this is essentially the only foam that is really holding it. There is that little piece right here, and that goes right in here, but this one really easily just pops off with the pull. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 essentially just plugs. There are 5 of them are exactly the same. They're just those little plastic things, and there's one that is like a plug like this. Probably don't want to break this one. This one might hold a little bit more. This is the one that goes right in here. And yeah, now we can get into cleaning this whole thing off and wrapping it up and making sure it looks all good and nice. Alright guys, so the first step in this job, and probably one of the most important ones, is to make sure you clean everything very well. Also, as you see where the clear coat was peeling, there is this little like gap, or not a gap, but the little lip right here from the old clear coat. So we're gonna have to take off all of this clear coat to make sure the surface is all smooth when we're gonna be putting the wrap on it. So starting with the cleaning, on this is just for my car, but you might have one of those too. There is a little rubber foamy thing like a gasket right here. You definitely want to pull this off first. So just be gentle with it, don't rip it off because you want to reinstall it later after you're done. So just gently peel this whole gasket off, just like this. There we go. Came out in one piece. The glue is even sticky in the back, so we might be able to reuse it and not have to put new glue on it. We set this to the side. Now we are ready. We'll also make sure in yours there's no more stuff that you're gonna be taking off. In mine, this is it. This is just a little gasket trim right here. So all I got in here is a water with just tiny bit of soap. Essentially, this is an old bottle, so don't look at the detailer. It's not what I'm using. I just use the bottle because it's a nice spray bottle, and just like a microfiber towel. So everything gets water on it. All right, we're gonna wipe this off so there's no dirt, dust. Well, it's gonna get dusty, but just like the main debris from the from road, from trees and all this stuff. Right, so I clean everything off around it. There we go. And then see there's more dirt on the other side, and let's just clean everything up while we are at it. All right, well, we wiped everything down from the dust, dirt and everything. Now we can get into sanding the old paint to completely remove the gap. So what I went with, and what seemed to work decent for me, this is a wet sand 2000 grip sandpaper. This is from 3M, so it's actually a really good sandpaper. And all I'm doing is flip it around so it's easier. Just put quite some water on it and start sanding it. And the main part I'm sitting at and looking at and working on right now, it's this lip, because I want to completely get rid of this lip. Once I get rid of this lip, I can sand everything else as well, just to scuff it up a little bit, because this is not as important. The clear part, when it's not peeling, is not as important. It's the lip that you want to make sure it's all gone. So let's get into sanding. Alright guys, and just like this, the trim is all sanded off. I hope you could see it quite decently how I did it. Essentially, the reason why I'm using such a fine grip, like a 2000, it's because it's a very smooth grip, and I'm not trying to put holes or marks into the plastic. I'm not trying to take off any material of the plastic. Essentially, I'm just trying to scuff it up so the wrap sticks a little bit better to it. And also I'm trying to get rid of the grooves, which I managed to do quite decently. It's there's a couple high spots. There's one more high spot right here that I found out, and something I didn't even notice, it started chipping paint right here too. So I'm gonna get one more time, sand all this off to bare plastic essentially, and fix up this little gap. But besides that, as you can see, you can still see the line where the clear coat ends and when the burr plastic starts. You can kind of still see the wavy line. But that's not a problem because we don't care what it looks like, if there's a wavy line or no. All we care about, there's no lip. So when we lay the vinyl on it, it's all smooth. So let me just fix it up, this little spot right here, and we're gonna start wrapping this thing. Alright guys, so the next step in our little journey is obviously to cut up the actual size of the vinyl that you need. And the idea, as I said already, I'm not a professional, but the idea that I have, it's always better to cut out a little bit extra. Like obviously all this is going to go to waste, but you know, it's better to cut a little bit extra on the safe side and cut it off than cut too little and then have to recut it again and waste even more material. So kind of lay down everything so it's somewhat flat, muck it up where I kind of want it, so it's gonna cover all of the trim, plus an extra somewhere around an inch on each corner that I can cut out later. And just go for it. Cut it up, and just like this. Now we can flip the plastic around. Don't worry about this being dirty. There's also a layer of protective, like a protective film kind of plastic on it, so it's not gonna get scratched up right now. And so you got it mucked up. You can kind of feel it around. Obviously you can't see the trim right now, but you can kind of feel it around, and it seems like everything's gonna fit just fine. So right now I'm going to clean this up a little bit with rubbing alcohol. I just use the cheapest dollar store rubbing alcohol. It's like $1 for a bottle. I use it on everything, it works just fine. And I'm gonna clean all of this up so it's all nice and debris free, I guess you can say. And we're gonna start wrapping. Alright, so the next step is kind of do as I say, not as I do. I know my workbench and whoever works in professional car wrapping is gonna like shake his head right now. I know it's kind of dusty and dirty, but that's what I have to work with. I don't really have any other workbench. This is a garage tour, so, or this is a how-to in your garage at home, you know, not professional shops. So we're gonna have to deal with what we have to deal with. And I'm gonna try my best not to get any dust or dirt on it. What I'm going to do right now, and I'm gonna put you guys on time lapse for that. I'm going to warm up. I have a heat gun right here. This, I know this one looks kind of weird. It's a really old heat gun, but it's still, knock on wood, works just fine. So you can get a heat gun like a Harbor Freight for somewhere around, I think, like $10 or $12. Or you can, essentially, if you have a good hair dryer, you can just use a hair dryer. But what I want to do in this step, I want to warm this plastic up a little bit so it's all nice and warm once I'm going to be putting the wrap on. And also because the wrap is still kind of like shaped to the roll, you know, the shape of the roll, I want to kind of relax it by putting heat on it so it kind of relax before, not like so it starts shrinking, just like make it a little bit relaxed and make this plastic a little bit warmer. And okay, let me set you guys up and we're gonna get back to work. So now, as you can see, guys, since we are done with our wrapping, we can finally reinstall the thing on the car. And but first, let's just see really quickly in this light how it turned out. So as you can see, hopefully, it is really sparkly. There is a lot of spark to it. And I think this one turned out a little bit better than the other one because I still have like a couple tiny bubbles. I don't know how yeah, this one right here, I have a couple of those. I hope they will go away with sun, like with heat, that when I park the car outside. And I know if you watch the video, if you're somewhat professional, you know what you're actually doing. You might be disgusted by the way I wrapped everything up on the other side. But honestly, I did it before on a couple other cars and it turned out just fine. I might just do this little wrinkle right here, I might push them in so make sure the glue stays on. And this is all water because I was cleaning it off. But yeah, no real like big bubbles. There's a couple of those little tiny bubbles, but as I said, hopefully they will go away. And let's see, let's reinstall in the car, and here you will be actually able to kind of see better the spark because the other side is like way darker. But let's reinstall it and see what it looks like. Yeah, so I'm not exactly sure what this little rubber trim right here is for, maybe for like wind noise or something like this. But yeah, because there's none all over it any other way. So crap, one of the clips stayed in there. But yeah, guys, so now that this thing is on, it managed to stay on with the original glue. We didn't rip it off or anything. Let's now reinstall it and see what it looks like. Alright guys, so I can already tell you, I don't know how well you can pick it up on the camera. I like this thing way more than the peeling black plastic, you know, like, I don't know, maybe the sparkly doesn't really fit anything else in the car, but at least in the darkness, like if you look at it, it's not really sparkly, you know, it's just gloss black like how it was from factory. But I feel like it's gonna really shine once you look at it in like a daylight in like a really nice bright sun. Because I feel like the spark is gonna really pop off, or maybe it won't, maybe it's gonna kind of stay this dull all over it, but it looks way better. As I said, you obviously don't have to use the sparkly one. You can just order a gloss black and just do it gloss black. I wanted to kind of experiment a little bit, that's why I used this one, and I'm not really disappointed for now. I think it looks kind of cool, you know, it's a little bit different, but the same general idea goes for anything else. You can literally use, I have some other wrap that was sitting here for a long time. It's like bright purple chrome, and I could have done this, but that would really not fit the car. So I think this looks way better. And as I said, those little tiny little bubbles, I don't even think you can really see them on the camera. I don't think the GoPro can really pick it up. But I hope those will go away with the heat from the sun. And once it's gonna be baking there for a little bit. But besides that, it looks pretty good. Now both of the sides, this one, yeah, you're not gonna be able to probably see this one, yeah, and this one, they're all not peeling anymore. It looks much better, cleaner than it was before. At least the car doesn't look like, you know, it's like it's falling apart. It still looks new right now. But yeah guys, so this video is already pretty freaking long. So as I mentioned one more time, I'm not a professional. I know there's probably gonna be some professional maybe watching this and gonna shake his head. If so, I'm sorry, but as I said, this is your how to DIY at home, and just a little cost breakdown. So when I bought the wrap, so I still have so much of this wrap left. I have like essentially I barely used any. I kind of messed up and on accident I ordered the bigger roll, and it was like $30 for that roll. But now I have all this wrap left. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. And I kind of regret getting that much because I probably could have done it. I could have bought it for like 12 bucks maybe, way less, just to do those two. But I also kind of had the idea how to do it. If this is your completely first time, maybe it's better to get a little bit more because you might mess it up. And this thing already came with that little plastic shovel, whatever you want to call it, that you use to you know, to squeeze the bubbles out. And also it came in with a little clip upper. We didn't really need this clip upper for this, but that might come in handy in certain cars when you have the clips that are like stronger fitted in. And that's it. The other thing is just a soap and water, a little microfiber towel, a little knife or scissors. You can really use any. Everyone has scissors or a knife at home. And the biggest thing is the hair dryer or the heat gun. But as I said, you can kind of use a good hair dryer and that should work just as fine. And just please be careful not cracking anything while removing it. And not to make this video any longer, if you guys enjoy it, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe, stay tuned, see you next time, and leave a comment if you did it yourself or if this video was helpful. Alright guys, see ya.